Hi everyone, it's Janet Wakeland back with our final video. Today there is no door to open. We did our 12th door yesterday. But what we're doing is what we've been doing all along with all of the 13 products, and that's sharing some inspiring samples and a few tips with you. So yesterday when we opened the door, we found an all-white suite of 4x3 cards that are embossed, so they've got raised texture on them, as well as some all-white ephemera. And I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of all-white, whether it's glossy and resist or whether it's matte like this and white ephemera, because you can easily change the color of them. Whether you are going to sponge them, so let's just grab our blending brush rather, so you can use a dauber, you can use a sponge, you can use your blending brush, and you can kind of highlight them and bring up the color a little bit by going over top of them. And as the ink sticks to the raised surface, that's going to make them pop. You don't have to color them. You can keep them white on white for just a really nice, subtle background. So I love being able to change the colors. So whether you do it with blending brushes, you do it with good old sponges, daubers, you do it by spritzing color on it, you're going to be able to easily change the colors and make that embossed background pop, okay? Of course, the other thing is, as you can see here on this scratch piece of paper, let me flip it over for just a second, is that you can also use them as stencils. Of course, you're going to get a twofer. You're going to get the color on it, and so you're going to be able to create a subtle look on your background by using them as stencils and stenciling through them. And then the other thing is you never have to use them the way that they show up. You can easily take your scissors and you can come in here and you can cut them apart into strips and things like that. You can actually make your leaves a little smaller and actually stretch your leaves just a little bit. So in this case, if I cut this, now I have 2 pieces of leaves that I use. So those are definitely some of the fun things that you can be doing with these. So let's set our little extras aside. Let's take a look at 4 samples, showcasing some tips. And then I have one big final tip for you. So here you can see where I cut apart the one that was a circular wreath, and I went ahead and just stretched it out to create a little floral background, little kind of, what do you want to call that? Vine when they're growing up the side of a wall. One of our little cupcake ephemera pieces from earlier in the week. And then these are really fun, beautiful new embellishments that were released with the holiday releases. I'll add a greeting later when I decide what kind of birthday wishes I am sending, whether they're belated or on-time wishes. So here is one where we used the blending brushes to color the background, make it pop a little bit, and then color the pieces. And if you look real close behind, there is a shadowed leaf behind it as well, adding a little bit more depth. And again, this one will get a greeting when I know what it is that I want to say, what I need a card for. I personally don't always put a greeting directly on the front of my card because as a demonstrator, I'm always making so many samples and things. So a lot of times I wait to add both my inside piece that's going to go inside of it and my outside message until I know the need that I have. So here we had a little bit of fun using some of the ephemera that was in our Advent box. This is the greeting from the stamp set that's part of the Advent box. We brought in some of the twine from the Advent box, left the wreath whole, and then this is also some of the glitter from earlier in the week as well. So lots of goodies from the box were put to use. And check out, can you see? If I hold real still, can you see the background? Can you see the lines on this card? I just wanted a little bit of contrast. I wanted to break up that flirty flamingo. And so all I did was use the scoring blade on my trimmer, went diagonal one way and then diagonal the other way. Okay, so great use of your trimming tool. And then bringing in again a whole bunch more. We had the gold foil ephemera. This was one of the dies. This was our gold glitter, liquid glitter. A couple more little guys, a little bit of ribbon. But again, just, using that 4x3 card as a base to build up. And now you have a sweet card, just a note. Okay, so let me talk to you for just a second about storing everything in one place. One of the things that I use a lot of in my studio are these large bags. And let me just quickly see if I can get the rough dimension for you. Roughly, they're 7 inches by 9.5 inches, roughly. Okay, 7 inches by 9.5. They're clear. I can see what's in them. This is basically every single thing that was in the Advent box, with the exception of the stamp set, because this will go on my shelf with my stamps. But wanted to keep all of the pieces together, the dies, the glue, the embellishments, and all of that. I love to use these envelopes because, again, they have a little bit of give in terms of, being able to stuff them and make them wide. And then I just have a clear bin that I put them in. I use my P2 Touch labeler, so this will say Advent box contents on it once I put a label on it. But I'm going to keep everything together like this for working with and playing with. And again, they just go in a box. I use these same size envelopes for my paper pumpkin refills, for my kit collection refills, and then for the ephemera packs that you get from Stampin' Up. So that's how I organize them and keep them. But this is my tip for how I will be organizing all of the contents of that Advent box, with the exception of the stamp set that is going to go on my shelf with other current stamps. So hopefully you guys have been inspired. Hopefully you've seen lots of tips and ideas for using your product. One of the things that I love to do is not just teach how to make a card, but also various ways to use the product that goes into card making. I'm passionate about adding value to my customers' purchases, to all of your purchases and things like that. So if you have any questions at all about anything that you've seen, it's most helpful for me when you ask it directly in relation to the video. So type my name in, it'll come up, tag me, and then ask it under the video that your question is in relation to, or whether it's a graphic or a post. Also, when I get a chance this week, I will finish photographing the rest of the samples that are not yet in the photo album, and all of my samples will be there. As a reminder, you are more than welcome to case them, copy and selectively edit, or copy them exactly, but please do not download my cards with my watermark and simply share that, okay? Go ahead and edit them and make them your own. You can download them for your personal use if you want to print them off so that you have them for ideas and stuff like that. But in terms of sharing them, again, case them, copy and selectively edit them, copy and make them exactly the same, but don't share the ones with my watermarks on them. I would appreciate that. So other than that, I am here for your questions. I'm here for our Share to Win contest, so make sure that you're also sharing your own samples. And I hope, again, that you've found lots of inspiration. Thanks, guys.